السلام عليكم طلبة الأعزاء. Today we will finish, well not finish, but we will start a new session or new section on um, the functions or the semantic functions, as it is. I don't know what's labeled. Yes, semantic roles. So today, well, I think we have already discussed propositions and semantic logic and sentence logic, etc., etc. So we have finished with this section. If there is any question about that, you just send me your feedback or questions, anything that concerns the preceding section, which is on propositional logic. Now today we will talk about semantic rows, which is very, very simple, very easy, very simple and easy concept or easy section. So the roles here, well, you have already heard about those roles like agent, like beneficiary, like theme perhaps, but agent is the most known and the most familiar concept, okay, agent. Now, what is a semantic role? The semantic role, well, refers to the way in which words are used in sentences, majorly, okay? And it also refers to the functions that those words fulfill. But today we will, among all the words that exist in a language, and specifically in English, the words that we will be concerned with here, we will more focus on NPs, okay, on the nominal groups. So among those roles, we will focus on the role of agent, the role of theme, instrument, experiencer. Well, those roles are just very few elements. The list is very, very, very long, and of course, and never exhaustive. Even the semanticians or semantists, even those people who are concerned with the roles of words in sentences, well, they couldn't stop the list. I mean, the list is very, very, very long. But we will, as an introduction, we will focus on those four. We will just talk about those four functions, or those four roles, semantic roles, in this introduction to semantics. Now, what is an agent? Now, an agent is defined as the entity, somebody or something. You can say entity, object, thing. Okay, so it is defined as that thing, which is somebody or something that performs the action. In other words, it's the doer of the action. This is what we know. We all know this construction, the doer of the action. Well, generally, before this, let's first look at the example. You have the man drives his car, the boy plays in the yard. Well, the man drives his car. The man is the doer. Well, obviously, it's the doer of the action. So this NP, because it's doing the action of driving, well, it has the semantic role of agent, or it fulfills the semantic function or role of agent. His car, which is another NP, does not fulfill this role. It does not mean that it is doing any action. So it's not an agent, even though it is an NP. The boy plays in the yard. You have the boy also here is or fulfills or conveys the meaning of the doer of the action. So it is the agent. And of course, the yard is not the agent because it does not convey that meaning. So the man and the boy are agents because they perform respectively the actions of driving and playing. But structurally speaking, those two entities happen to be also the subjects of the sentences above. Okay, so just accidentally or coincidentally, the man drives his car. The man is both the subject and the agent. The subject, of course, does not refer or is not explained as the doer of the action. The subject or the concept subject refers to the position that an NP takes in a sentence, and it is in statements or in the statements, well, it is the first position before the first NP before the VP. Well, we have already explained, thoroughly the difference between agent and subject in semester 3, in grammar 3. Well, here we will just give a hint to that, okay? So here the man is the subject of the sentence because it occupies the position of subject, which is the position before the VP, drives, and also conveys the meaning of the doer of the action. So it is both a position, which is subject, and agent, it is also a meaning. It has also a meaning, which is doing the action of driving. The boy, same thing. Okay, so both here, both the man and the boy refer or have or convey, in fact, uh, two functions, a syntactic function and a semantic function. The syntactic function is the subject function, and the semantic function is the agent function. Okay? So, in distinguishing between subject and agent, in fact, we distinguish between two different concepts. One is a syntactic concept, and the other is a semantic concept. Now, in all the sentences of the English language, and we specify here English language, but it is, in fact, it's an obligatory concept in all the sentences that people may utter in all languages. The subject is necessary, it's a position, and it is necessary for the construction of a sentence. Now, when I say this, if we compare in all the sentences of the world, this is not totally true. Why? Because in all the sentences of all the languages of the world, we have the concept subject, but it's not always a position. Like in Arabic, for example, if you say كتب رسالة, well, كتب, for example, is a verb that carries its subject with it. You understand, it is understood from the verb that there is a subject, and we refer to it as the hidden pronoun. Okay, الضمير المستتر. So we understand that in كتب, well, there is this huwa, but you don't have an instance. It's not instantiated. Well, there is no position. Well, it doesn't have a physical position in the sentence. You don't see the subject. You just understand because the language provides the means for the people to understand that there is a subject, but not necessarily apparent in the sentence. Okay? Now, in English, it's not possible to have a non-apparent subject in a sentence. We need to have this position, physical position in the sentence. So a subject is necessary in all the English language, in all the English sentences, but the agent is not. It's not a necessary concept in all the sentences of English. Okay? A subject is necessary. There is no sentence without subject. And an agent or concept agent is not necessary. Why? Because it all depends on the verbs that you use in your sentences. If the verb is an action verb, actually, well, it needs an action subject or active subject um, that is acting or that's performing this action that the verb conveys. Okay, driving is an action, so it needs a driver. Writing is an action, we need a writer. Well, if we construct, of course, the sentence, or when constructing a sentence, depending on the meaning of the verb, we know whether we need an agent or not, but we know primarily and necessarily that in constructing a sentence, we necessarily need a subject. Okay, so these two concepts are not the same. Okay, one is a necessary position, it's a necessary element, it's a necessary function in the sentence, the other is not. Well, I think that it's enough about the subject and agent concept. Now, if we consider um, the sentences 1, 2, 3, 4 below, we have John wrote a book last month. The book was written by John last month. Anne is sleeping in the bed. She died yesterday. Now, if we look at the verbs write, sleep, and die, well, only write conveys an action, sleep does not, and die neither. Okay, so John wrote a book. We have only here, John is the only NP that could function as a, semantically speaking, as an agent. A book is not, Anne is not, and she is not. Well, all these NPs are just subjects because they fulfill the place, or they occupy the position of the subject, but they're not agents because they do not fulfill this role or the semantic role of acting. Okay, why? Because of the nature of the verb. Now, you might perhaps question the second sentence. Well, we have write and we have an NP before write, but this write is in the passive voice, which means that a book, and of course, just semantically, if you question yourself, a book cannot write, it is written, so it undergoes the action of writing, but not does not fulfill the semantic role of agent. So a book here is not the agent, it is the subject, but not the agent. And where is the agent? In fact, the agent is by John, and by John as a whole, by John. Without by, we do not agree on the semantic role of agent. Okay? So it's by, which shows that something is done by somebody. So it's by, which shows the agenthood of this um, propositional phrase. Okay, but a propositional phrase, well, here we cannot say it's a subject by John is the agent, but it's not the subject. Okay, so it is the agent which is put at the end of the sentence, and it is the element that denotes this active NP, okay, or agenthood. Okay, but prepositional phrases never occupy the position of subject. We all know this, okay? So only NPs can function as subjects in simple sentences, okay?